Let's begin today's story. The Veiled Power of Isis, a thrilling and suspenseful journey into the history, myth, and legacy of Egypt's great enchantress. In the shimmering heat of the Nile Valley, where the desert winds carried whispers of God's spirits and the restless dead, there emerged a deity whose power and influence would echo across continents and millennia. She was a goddess of magic, of life and death, of rebirth, throne and empire. She was the widow, the mother, the sorceress, and the queen. Her name was Isis. To the ancient Egyptians, she was more than a divine figure. She was the very heartbeat of civilization, the one who taught humanity the secrets of healing, protection, and resurrection. But behind her serene statues and gilded temples lies a story filled with treachery, grief, forbidden magic, and supernatural triumph. A tale that begins before human memory and stretches into the modern world. This is the thrilling and factual history of Isis, Egypt's most enduring and mysterious goddess. Before Egypt had pharaohs, before kingdoms rose and fell like the shifting sands, the myths say that Osiris ruled Earth as a benevolent king. He brought agriculture, law, and morality to the people. And at his side stood Isis, his queen, advisor, and partner in creation. Historical records show that the myth of Osiris and Isis was more than a story. It was a template for kingship and family, shaping Egypt's culture from the Old Kingdom onward. Together, Isis and Osiris represented a divine model of ideal rulership, something pharaohs would emulate for thousands of years. But their paradise was fragile. In the shadows, Osiris's brother Set, the god of storms, chaos, and the harsh desert, watched with growing jealousy. His rage would soon ignite one of the most dramatic betrayals in ancient mythology, a tale steeped in death, dismemberment, and forbidden resurrection. In one of the most chilling episodes of Egyptian lore, Set constructed a richly decorated chest, perfectly fitted to Osiris's body. During a great feast, Set invited Osiris to lie inside it as part of a game. When he did, Set slammed the lid shut, sealed it with molten lead, and cast the chest into the Nile. This was no simple murder. It was an act of cosmic rebellion, an attack against order itself. The chest drifted down the river, carrying the body of the once great king. And when the news reached Isis, her grief shook the heavens. It is in this moment that Isis transformed from queen to relentless hunter, beginning a journey that took her across deserts, foreign lands, and supernatural boundaries. Her search for Osiris was not simply a rescue mission. It was the beginning of her rise as Egypt's greatest sorceress. Historical records and temple inscriptions reveal that Isis was revered as the master of Heka, the ancient Egyptian concept of magic, a force woven into the fabric of reality. To the Egyptians, magic was not fantasy, it was a sacred science, practiced in healing rituals, protective amulets, and funerary rites. During her quest to find Osiris, Isis employed every form of magic known to the ancient world: transformation spells to disguise herself, incantations to speak to spirits, rites of protection to ward off demons, healing magic to restore life and body. In myth, she traveled through marshlands infested with crocodiles and desert expanses where spirits roamed. She was mourning, vulnerable, and yet unstoppable. Eventually, she found the chest containing Osiris's body lodged in a cedar tree in the land of Byblos. But the story was not over. Set, learning of her success, stole the body yet again and dismembered it into 14 pieces, scattering them across Egypt. Most goddesses would have surrendered. Isis did not. As Set searched for the newborn Horus, Isis fled to the Nile Delta marshes, hiding among reeds, papyrus, and shallow waters filled with crocodiles and serpents. These years are recorded in numerous temple texts, painting a vivid picture of danger, devotion, and divine protection. Isis was not alone. According to myth, cobra spirits guarded her hiding place. Magical scorpions protected the infant Horus. Priestesses modeled their healing rituals after her spells. The lamentations of Isis describe her pleas to the gods. When Horus was bitten by a venomous creature, her spells were so powerful that even Ra, the sun god, intervened to save the child. These stories cemented Isis as a goddess of healing and protection, invoked by Egyptians for illnesses, childbirth, and danger. Her powers were growing, her legends spreading, and her revenge approaching. When Horus came of age, the gods convened to decide who should rule Egypt. Horus, the rightful son of Osiris, or Set, the embodiment of chaos, the contendings of Horus and Set, an ancient saga preserved on papyrus, recounts a long and dramatic conflict filled with battles, trickery, and legal disputes. Throughout it all, Isis played a crucial and often cunning role. She infiltrated Set's camp in disguise, she seduced secrets out of him, she used spells to trap him, she pleaded with the gods, she manipulated celestial politics. At one point, Set even captured her, furious at her interference, but she escaped through magic and deception. Ultimately, Horus triumphed, and the gods declared him the rightful king. This victory symbolized the triumph of order over chaos, the very foundation of Egyptian civilization. And Isis had been its architect. As centuries passed, Isis rose from mythological figure to the most widely worshipped goddess in Egypt. Her temples spread across the Nile Valley with major cult centers at Philae, her most famous sanctuary, Abydos, sacred burial site of Osiris, Dendera, a temple shared with Hathor. Her symbols became central to Egyptian culture. The Tayet knot of Isis, representing protection. The throne glyph, symbol of power, the wings of Isis, representing resurrection and healing. Priestesses and priests performed her rituals daily, reenacting her search for Osiris and her protection of Horus. For Egyptian women, Isis became a symbol of feminine power, motherhood, and wisdom. For kings, she was the divine mother whose throne legitimized their rule. But Isis's story does not end with Egypt. Far from it. After Alexander the Great conquered Egypt in 332 BCE, Isis became a global goddess. Greek philosophers identified her with Demeter, goddess of harvest and maternal devotion. In Rome, she became associated with Venus and Fortuna, attracting countless worshippers from all classes. Her cult became one of the largest and most influential religions in the Roman Empire, complete with secret initiation rites, processions with music, incense, and sacred boats, temples across Europe, Africa, and Asia. A priesthood devoted to purity and healing. Roman literature describes her temples as filled with chanting, ritual drumming, and prayers for forgiveness and protection. Isis offered something rare: personal salvation, emotional comfort, and the hope of life after death. When Christianity emerged, many scholars believe that aspects of Isis worship, especially imagery of Isis nursing Horus, influenced later depictions of Mary and the infant Jesus. Even after her temples were closed in the 6th century CE, her legacy lived on in magic texts, folklore, and the memory of a goddess who refused to be forgotten. One of the most fascinating aspects of Isis is her reputation as the greatest magician of the gods. Ancient magical papyri describe Isis, commanding spirits, healing the sick, raising the dead, controlling fate, manipulating gods themselves. In one famous myth, she created a serpent to bite Ra, the sun god, forcing him to reveal his secret name, a dangerous and sacred piece of cosmic knowledge. This act gave her unmatched magical power. To the Egyptians, this was not blasphemy. It was reverence. Isis was the goddess capable of bending reality to restore life, justice, and love. Her magic became the foundation for Egyptian healing practices, amulets, curses, and protective rituals. Even centuries later, medieval alchemists and occultists referenced her as the fountain of arcane wisdom. One of the most dramatic endings in ancient religious history occurred at the Temple of Isis at Philae, located on an island near the first cataract of the Nile. Even as Christianity swept through Egypt, Philae remained a stronghold of Isis worship. For nearly 2 centuries, her priests continued conducting rituals long after other temples had closed. Historical records show that in 550 CE, The Byzantine Emperor Justinian ordered the temple shut, ending more than 3,000 years of active worship. But even then, inscriptions show that local Nubians continued to honor her for decades afterward. The island of Philae still echoes with her presence, its walls carved with scenes of Isis mourning, protecting, resurrecting, and ruling. Today, Isis remains one of the most recognized deities in human history. Her face appears in museums, her name in esoteric texts, her image in art, literature, films, and modern spiritual movements. Her legacy endures because her story embodies themes that transcend time. Love stronger than death, justice against overwhelming darkness, the resilience of motherhood, the triumph of order over chaos, the mysterious power of the feminine divine. She is the woman who crossed worlds for love, the sorceress who commanded life and death, the queen whose throne built empires, the mother whose child restored the cosmos. And through thousands of years, her magic still lingers, whispering from ancient stone, echoing through lost temples, and stirring in the collective memory of civilizations long gone. Isis is more than myth. She is a symbol of power, unyielding, eternal, and profoundly human in her devotion and grief. Her story is one of the most compelling ever told, a tale where love defies death, where magic resurrects kings, and where a goddess becomes the beating heart of an entire civilization. As long as humanity tells stories, Isis will live on, forever searching, forever protecting, forever reigning in the shadows of history. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for the next story.